On June 15th, 2021, a build of alleged next version of Windows, dubbed Windows 11, has been leaked all across the internet. News website exploded. Windows community couldn't believe it at first. YouTube videos regarding it are bombarded all across the website. Here we are, 1 year later, after that event happened. Let's lean ourselves back to that time and work up all the way to the present day. Windows 10 has been around since 2015 and said to be the last version of Windows ever, and selling a turning point for Windows as a service through several updates for Windows 10, such as November update, Anniversary update, Creator and For Creators update, and other update which is released every 6 months. Windows 10 also has going through several UI refresh from Microsoft Design Language to the Fluent Design. But in the Microsoft Build 2021, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella shared a cryptic message for Windows' future labeled as Next Generation of Windows.
And soon we will share one of the most significant updates of Windows of the past decade to unlock greater economic opportunity for developers and creators. I've been self-hosting it over the past several months, and I'm incredibly excited about the next generation of Windows.
Several mentions of Windows Sun Valley exist on a Microsoft documentation alongside Windows 10. It suggests that Sun Valley is using a version of Windows 10 named 21H2, which will be released in the second half of 2021. But over time, things just got out of hand. Windows 11 is accidentally mentioned in a Microsoft documentation over GitHub. A redirect link, aka.ms/Windows11, is known to exist since late May 2021, which functions to link major versions of Windows, such as Windows 10 and Windows 7. An event by Microsoft that's about to be held on June 24 also shows some clue about the next generation of Windows by some odd design quirks which many in the Windows community spotted. A video uploaded by the Windows account on YouTube featuring lo-fi remixes of various Windows startup sounds with a total runtime of oddly 11 minutes.
A screenshot taken from Baidu.com shows a future version of Windows of what they call Windows 11. Showing the desktop and some other screenshots, this raises the question: is this next version of Windows real, or is it just a play made by Microsoft? And then the day finally comes, June 15th. A build of so-called Windows 11 leaked to the public. Build 21996 to be exact. The chaos started to begin with news, YouTube videos, threads, and posts started to spread all over the internet, taking Windows 11 to the pressure with gaming.
Yeah, I was expecting there to be some kind of fighting with it, to get this running, but other than that, it just won't install on bare metal. It goes. I mean, look at this, Red Dead Redemption 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Tablet experience.
There's now a new gesture layer that allows you to manipulate Windows with 3 or 4 fingers. So I can use 3 or 4 fingers to swipe this app down, or I can bring it back, and then I can even open task view with that same UI. And if I have multiple desktops open, like so, I can use 4 fingers to touch and hold and then swipe between my virtual desktops, which is quite nice. In addition to that, Microsoft has also added a bunch of subtle animations that sort of make it easier to manipulate windows with touch. For example, if I were to grab the title bar here, you'll see that it sort of shrinks in to let me know that I have in fact grabbed it, and then of course you can full screen it and stuff just like that.
Installing it on unspoiled hardware.
We finally made it to the out-of-box experience, and I would say this took about 15 to 20 minutes to get to this point, which is certainly longer than what you can expect on modern hardware, but again, this is an older computer. So, alright, so here we are everybody, finally at the desktop. So we still got that Windows 9X style task manager, really appreciate that one, Microsoft. We're going to click on more details to get to the actual task manager. And you can see that, wow, we're using 100% disk usage here. Get out of that and try this again. Oh my gosh, check that out. The page isn't responding. Of course it's not responding. Desktop window manager is not responding. That's a great sign.
And also distraction.
You've got the full rights to do whatever you want to do to that file.
Lovely.
Delete all the cursors.
Oh,
Trusted installer, delete. Gone.
yeah.
So it says error. You can't find this file. It's either missing or corrupt. Oh, error, you can't find this one, or this one, or
Oh,
this
no.
one, or this one, or this one, or this one, or
Oh,
this
they're all the-
this.
They're all the...
And see if this destroyed at least something.
And look.
Okay, so shut down the computer and see how it went, okay? Restart. And let's see what happens. Will it be able to restart? I'm surprised it didn't delete everything, because it had no problem deleting all the stuff in my... Oh, preparing automatic repair.
Oh, it has an automatic repairing thing.
See, it's really
Oh,
struggled. No, it's unable to boot right now.
By looking at the build, the UI shared some similarities to the now discontinued Windows 10X that was supposed to be for dual-screen devices, with taskbar icons in the middle by default, merely identical start menu design. Later on, Panos Panay, the chief product officer at Microsoft, acknowledged the leak of that build and stating as early weird build in an interview with The Verge, and also saying that it didn't matter. When something like that gets out incomplete, you're like, okay.
Afterwards, the leak started to be taken down by Microsoft for confidentiality reasons, to help keep Windows 11 a secret. At the same time, Microsoft's and Windows Twitter accounts began to tease Windows 11 even more explicitly. On the 24th of June, a Microsoft live stream that was supposed to announce Windows 11 suddenly crashed before it had even begun. After a little while, the issues were fixed and the event finally began with Microsoft saying Windows 11 would be designed for gamers, shipping with DirectX 12 Ultimate, as well as for productivity, accessibility and more. Many people were excited about the prospect of Microsoft's new operating system, with its brand new look and apparent improvements over its predecessor, Windows 10. However, Windows 11 was highly criticised at the time of its announcement for its highly increased system requirements, its ability to only be installed on 64-bit systems, its UEFI requirements, which essentially cut support for almost all PCs released before 2011, its enabling of secure boot by default, and TPM2 chip requirement, which made essentially all PCs before 2014 unable to install it. Not only that, but processor support appeared to be only for Intel Coffee Lake or newer CPUs, and AMD Zen 2 or newer CPUs. This raised many questions as to why Microsoft decided to take such drastic decisions, with the answer purportedly being for security, reliability and compatibility reasons. However, some people weren't satisfied with Microsoft's response, with workarounds discovered and quickly shared online that allowed installation of Windows 11 on unsupported PCs via registry hacks and/or file replacements, with users who attempted such workarounds apparently experiencing little to no issues.
And that's it. We just upgraded a computer that does not meet the minimal requirements to Windows 11 using a USB flash drive to perform a clean installation.
Hence, on June 28, Microsoft decided to reevaluate which processors are eligible to run Windows 11, which included Intel's Kaby Lake series for the final release. Alongside that, the first insider build of Windows 11, build 22000.51, includes some changes such as redesigns to Explorer, the lock screen, Action Center, and many more. This build is still able to install on unsupported PCs with a registry hack. Later on, in future builds, they added a warning to settings and on the desktop for unsupported systems. Windows 11's UI has gotten praise from several people, with many of the elements being overhauled and looking more modern.
Makes Windows 11 really amazing is the UI. Microsoft has gone out of their way to make the Windows 11 UI really look polished. I mean, say what you will about Windows 11, but it really does look great. Down from the really polished rounded corners that you have in applications, like right here, down to even the animations that you have when you click on different taskbar items. Like for instance, when you click on the start button, you can see the button actually get bigger and smaller as you're clicking on it. However, it's not the same animation for each button. If we click on the search button, it changes color. And I think these little details really help to enhance the way that Windows 11 looks. It definitely looks really polished.
Windows 11 is also praised by its new productivity features over at Engadget.com. This statement supported by the integration of Microsoft Teams, which will be available starting from build 22,000.100. The insider builds are starting to roll out to dev and beta channels for all devices, even to the unsupported ones until August 31st, where all ineligible devices are dropped out from the insider program. And then on August 28th, a build in Nickel, which is known to be the base for 22H2 development, instead of 22H1, as Microsoft decided to roll out feature update every year rather than every half a year like what Windows 10 had already done for the past 4 years.
As Windows 11 is about to roll out in October 5th, Microsoft decided to roll out an app called PC Health Check, which looks at all hardware components and identifying if the device is capable or not to upgrade to Windows 11. But, as it goes again, there were some issues with the app, considering it only gave a tick or a cross with no further detail. This would be later fixed with the second iteration of the app, which shows more detail for the device's eligibility. One of the spotlights for Windows 11's advantages is the ability to run Android apps natively with the help of Windows Subsystem for Android. It was first promoted at the event with so many integration.
Just one more small surprise. Android apps coming to Windows. And I mean coming to Windows. They can be integrated into Start. They'll be integrated in your taskbar. You can window the way Carmen showed you earlier with these apps. And for me, like one of my favorite apps is TikTok, it's true. And they're discoverable through the Microsoft Store using the Amazon App Store. It's really cool. And we use Intel Bridge technology to bring it to life so it's just seamless and smooth. And these integrated apps, I mean, what it does is it brings you into Windows from the most professional editing apps all the way through to the most casual apps you can think of when you lean back on the couch the way Philip had showed you, to just let Windows adapt to what you do.
The promise of the feature is slowly come with its first appearance on a Microsoft Store, and a few days later, it's released to the users. So many features slowly rolled out too, for the users, big or small, started with Windows Update approximation. Well-known apps are coming to the Microsoft Store, some Win32 apps are updated with a new design and look, Spotify integration into the Clock app, Windows Spotlight, voice access, and so many others. But despite all of those new features, there comes a twist. Microsoft decided to make switching default web browser even harder by having to change individual protocol and extension to run from the desired browser instead of Microsoft Edge.
Now you have to set it for every individual thing. I mean, I get giving more options to the consumer, but this doesn't feel like options. It feels like they're trying to force you to use Edge. And check this out. If you open Edge once, it asks you to switch the default to that. If you say yes, it automatically switches every setting back to Edge. So you have to do it all over again. What the hell, Windows?
October 5th, the launch of Windows 11. The marketing campaign is way too out of control, starting from skyscrapers into an ice cream.
So if you were in New York City, and if you happen to walk into one of the Mikey Likes It ice cream locations, you could walk away with a free scoop or two of this Bloomberry ice cream. Of course, that was for a limited time. Oh yeah, guys, there it is. So even the ice cream itself contains kind of the same colors that the wallpaper contains.
In just 24 hours since its release to the public, an article made by Windows Central describes 5 best features from Windows 11. First one is Snap Assist, which other people find it quite useful tool for window management. Next one is improved touch support with gesturing, UI placement exclusively for touch surface, new touch keyboard, new Microsoft Store which looks cleaner and matched with the Windows 11 design. Fun fact, the idea of categories at the left side is pitched by MyTube developer Christopher Blackman, or goes by Riken Studio. The last one is improvement for gaming with direct storage, which functions as a shortcut for game compression from the disk to GPU directly, which makes games even faster. Auto HDR for richer color display, and DirectX 12 Ultimate.
Windows 11 is also notable for making changes to system applications such as Settings, which now uses the same left side category implementation as what Microsoft Store already had, plus the changes to File Explorer, from using Ribbon, which goes all the way back to Windows 8, to a more simple command bar, with basic tasks at the top. Depending on what you're selecting, the command bar may show different actions. Notepad, which has pretty much stayed the same since Windows 1.0, has been updated with dark mode and a new UI. Task Manager has always been a crucial app for Windows as it handles applications, processes, and services. With the coming of Windows 11, Task Manager also gets another update, with a new look for the first time since Windows 8 by changing tabs for categories, having it be more theme aware with a new dark mode in it using the system's accent color, and more.
Another noticeable changes made to Windows 11 is fixing an issue that has been around since Windows 10. Multiple application for one purpose. Settings app with Control Panel, Paint and Paint 3D, Snip and Sketch and Snipping Tool, you name the rest. But now, Microsoft is finally going to address this issue with merging Snip and Sketch and Snipping Tool to just Snipping Tool. Paint 3D is going to not be included on Windows 11 as the Paint app is going to be updated with all new look. And movies and TV? It's being rebranded as Media Player, which makes Groove Music, Windows Media Player merge their function into the new app.
One of the other features introduced in Windows 11 was widgets, which can be traced back to Windows 10's News and Interests feature. The widget pane, taking up roughly half of the user's screen, includes a clock, search bar, personal and news widgets. Critics praised its informativeness, but noted its heavy consumption of system resources, causing memory leaks. Additionally, third-party widgets would reportedly be arriving in a later Insider build. A week passed and more points of improvement for Windows 11 were found, the most notable being issues with AMD CPUs, with issues with high L3 cache latency causing the performance to drop by around 10 to 15%. Another issue was the inability to install printers via a HTTP connection. Additionally, some built-in applications such as Snipping Tool, the on-screen keyboard and voice typing refused to open due to an issue with Microsoft Digital Certification.
On November 9th, Microsoft announced what they called Windows 11 SE, which targeted towards education sector and low-end PCs. Unlike a normal Windows 11, it comes with several limitations but also some upsides, including Microsoft Office being bundled into the OS, apps not being limited to just 2 simultaneously, and Microsoft Store being disabled. Applications run in full screen by default considering laptops using this edition are mostly using small displays. Following the announcement, Microsoft also unveiled the Surface Laptop SE, a laptop from Microsoft which uses Windows 11 SE as its default OS. According to AdDuplex, there are 60,000 PCs already making their way to Windows 11, which makes the market share of Windows 11 rise up to 8.6%, with Windows 10 21H1 leading up by 36.3%, followed by Windows 10 20H2 by 31.8% as of November 2021. This makes some significant changes considering Windows 11 had only just been released for a month.
Microsoft is still trying to dominate Edge on the web browser market with Windows 11 by making any protocol links point to Microsoft Edge instead of Chrome or Firefox, and even offering the end-to-end consumer experience by disabling any third-party apps that involve Microsoft Edge and make sure they stick to Microsoft Edge, whoever, whatever, whenever. Many people such as NTDev already noticed such inconsistency on Windows 10 that could be dated all the way back to Windows 3.1, but in Windows 11, Microsoft tried to fix all of these. One of these inconsistencies can be found in the Volume UI, which hasn't been updated since Windows 8, followed by the Brightness UI later on with the flyout being above the taskbar horizontally instead of vertically.
As of January 2022, Windows 11 has already over 16% market share according to AdDuplex. Month after month, Windows 11 manages to hike up from its bottom stage to the peak stage. Microsoft claims that Windows 11 is going to be the highest quality of Windows that they have ever shipped. While insider builds go by, Windows enthusiasts find out certain features that are disabled in Windows 11 insider builds. Some of them are able to be enabled and some of them are not. One of them is tabs on File Explorer. It makes a comeback to Windows 11 since the Windows 10 insider builds, which were previously known as sets. The tabs feature is still a work in progress with several bugs and quirks. Microsoft later confirms its appearance on the next version of Windows 11. Another feature that unfortunately got disabled included the desktop stickers, which, as it says, adds a sticker to the desktop. Microsoft hasn't commented on this publicly, but this feature gets enabled in the next couple insider builds, and the reception is mixed, with many people admiring its customizability while others claim that it takes more resources to accomplish that feature.
Since the introduction of the Microsoft account in 2012, Microsoft has been pushing for people to join their ecosystem, like what Apple does with their ecosystem. One of the ways to do so is by requiring a Microsoft account when setting up the device for the first time. In Windows 11, the taskbar has been overhauled by its look, function, and so on. There's still an issue that sticks out into the users for quite a while: the inability to move the taskbar. Tailrod from Microsoft describes it as one of the most requested features of Windows 11, but to implement that, it's a huge challenge for the developers.
After all of those ups and downs of Windows 11, here we are, June 24th, marking the first anniversary of Windows 11. All we can say is thank you, Microsoft, for all what you all decided for Windows 11, even if it is likable or not. From here, we can pave the path of Windows 11 for the next years or so. With all what the community gave for Windows 11, we'll see you Windows 11 on the other side.